The Necrological Service in honor of the late Senator Dominador R. Aytona is hereby declared open.
Please rise for the Lord's Prayer to be sung by the Senate Choir. After the invocation, please remain standing for the singing of the Philippine National Anthem. The Honorable Edgar U. Ilarde will now deliver his eulogy.
Kagalang-galang Ginoong Pangulo ng Senado, Coco Pimentel, kagalang-galang na miyembro ng Senado, mga panauhing nakikidalamhati, mga kaanak at mahal sa buhay ni Senador Dominador R. Aytona, Manoy Doming, Manoy Bading. Magandang umaga po sa inyo lahat. I am deeply honored and privileged to have been asked by the family of an eminent and remarkable man, Dominador Aytona, to deliver a brief laudatory tribute on his passing. Manoy Doming lived a full life, sharing the joys of life, serving the people, enjoying God's blessings with humility, honesty, and compassion for his fellow men. Manoy Doming has outlived most, if not all, of his peers in government. He has outlived his friends and his millions of admirers in Bicol land, his beloved home. Almost a century of life on earth. He must have died with a smile on his face, as if to say, God is good, and so he gave me 99 years of sacrifice and joy, for God's bidding is mysterious and divine. Senator Doming Aytona was one of the few Filipinos gifted with intellectual brilliance, especially in finance, which, lucky for all of us, lucky for our country, has reaped the fruit of his wise counsel and admonitions during his long years of service in the private sector and in government. His wisdom, though in his humility he never admitted, benefited the life of our people, benefited them economically and socially. There are men of the spoken word, communicators, we call them, men of letters. Senator Doming Aytona was a man of numbers, financial affairs, and economics. There was no hope for anyone in his time to steal any thunder, and little chance of even echoing his brilliance, his vast knowledge in that regard. Manoy Doming was our mentor in our many occasions for exchanging ideas and serious discussions on how to improve the quality of life of our people. We saw how motivated he was, most of the time shaking his head in frustration about our country's slow economic growth. He always had a ready smile on his face every time, but we saw how sad and serious he became when we shifted our conversation to our people's needs and aspirations. That was the patriotic and compassionate mark of the Aytona we knew. That is why now that he has passed, we are proud to say we were blessed to have been his friend, his student, lucky to have brushed elbows with such a man of intellect and love for the Filipino. May his legacies of dedication and honesty in government emblazon in the heart of those in public service his illustrious endeavors for our people, the guiding light toward peace and progress. Ang hindi ko po malilimot na sinabi sa akin ni Manny Bading nung nagkausap kami minsan, tingnan mo, Eddie, ang mga estudyante, mga nag-aaral. Kailangan tayong mga nasa pamahalaan ay estudyante rin. Subalit kailangan doble ang ating pag-aaral. Mag-aral tayo ng husto sapagkat ang ating mga kababayan ang makikinabang. Tayo ay utusan ng bayan. I'll never forget that. Himati Manoy, ining samuyang hinagarangay, tadahil ng gadya sa imong paghali, pero kaugmahan niya mo, tayo kang unyan, yaw na sa gloria, nin mahal na Diyos. Malipungo kami kanimo, Manoy, tadinay kami balik, pero namumaya kami, tayo ka gakos na ni amang Diyos. Senator Dominador Aytona, you love poetry. May I recite for you William Cullen Bryant's beautiful Thanatopsis, written in 1817, so long ago. So live, that when thy summons comes to join the innumerable caravan which moves to that mysterious realm where each shall take his chamber in the silent halls of death. Thou go not like the quarry slave at night, scourged to his dungeon, but sustained and soothed by an unfaltering trust. Approach thy grave like one who wraps the drapery of his couch about him and lies down in pleasant dreams. Farewell, Manoy.
Since the Honorable Rene G. Espina is unable to travel to Manila, he has sent his pre-recorded eulogy. Let us now listen to the eulogy of the Honorable Rene G. Espina.
Senate President Coco Pimentel and distinguished members of this body, ladies and gentlemen, especially the guests, the honored guests. The one that we are honoring today was born in 1918 in a town called Libon in Albay. This is part of Bicol region. He was a very good student, as a matter of fact, a very brilliant student during his primary, elementary, and even during his attendance at the normal schools. After he finished the high school course in Bicol, he enrolled himself at the University of Manila, where he obtained 3 degrees. The first one was Bachelor of Commerce in Finance and Economics, where he was graduated summa cum laude. Later on, he also finished his bachelor's degree in law, where he graduated magna cum laude. And much later, he took his master's degree for law, where he graduated cum laude. When Dominador Aytona, the man we are honoring today, took his bar examinations in 1950, he was one of the bar top-notchers. He was number 2, as a matter of fact, among the top 10. And his grade was 94.55%. Later, Doming Aytona was appointed very much later by President Magsaysay as Commissioner of the Budget. During President Garcia's time, he was appointed Secretary of Finance, which at the time also carried the position of Central Bank Governor. However, when President Macapagal became the President, he questioned President Garcia's appointment of Aytona And so now we have the doctrine which was enunciated by the Supreme Court of the invalidity of midnight appointments. Doming Aytona's appointment as Central Bank Governor and Secretary of Finance was annulled by the Supreme Court. My friends, in 1969, in the 7th Congress, when I was elected, during the presidential elections where President Ferdinand Marcos ran for election as official candidate of the Nacionalista Party, and his opponent was Sergio Osmeña Jr., official candidate of the Liberal Party. That was the time when I first met Dominador Aytona, Doming Aytona for short. At that time, the Senate was a very different, very different Senate than what it is today. Can you imagine in that Senate, there were at least, to my count, 9 bar top-notchers. And all in all, there were 16 lawyers and a 24 body that of the legislature. So that I will not make a mistake, let me read the bar top-notchers with their grades of that Senate. First, we have Vito Salonga with a grade of 95.3. Jose Giorno, an identical grade of 95.3. Dominador Aytona, 94.55. And then you have Lorenzo Sumulong, 92.5. Emmanuel Colares, 91.31. Arturo Tolentino, 89.65%. Ambrosio Padilla, 88.75%. And of course, yours truly, with a grade of 93.2%. Besides us, 9 lawyers, there were other lawyers, very prominent lawyers like Lorenzo Tanada, Salvador Larrell, Lorenzo Teves, Leone Perez, and many other prominent lawyers, which made a total of about 2/3 of that Senate. 2/3 of that Senate, imagine, were composed of brilliant lawyers. Not enough to say that we are the best. There were, in addition, many very important personalities in the private sector, such as Senator Gil Puyat, our Senate President, who was a banker. You had Elena Benitez, who was the President of the Philippine Women's University. You had Senator Sergio Osmeña, who was the son of President Sergio Osmeña Sr. You had Mauro Magsaysay, brother of President Magsaysay, and many others. So, my friends, in order to distinguish yourself in that body, you have to have extraordinary talents, experience, nay, brilliance in mind, in order to be able to tackle the debates during the Senate, discussions on bills and so on. Of course, I forgot to mention one of our close friends that was killed in the tarmac, Ninoy Aquino. He was also part of that 7th Congress that we had. And so, we would discuss these matters, and every time we discuss these matters, especially on finance and economics, we notice a very brilliant mind in Dominador Aytona. There was hardly any question that he could not answer with clarity, with specific interest, and with all the details if needed to convince anyone to approve the budget. It is regrettable that I could not speak for long on the merits of the man whom we are honoring today. But Domingo Aytona was a poor boy from Libon, Albay, as I said before. But he is the embodiment of what a Filipino can do, given the opportunity to study, to try his skills in an open and democratic society, to be given an opportunity to show his skills and to be elected into an elected post like the Senate. I wish many of our Congresses after that would have had the same standards as what we had in the year 1969. To end my eulogy, let me just say that, Doming, you have earned the admiration of the Filipino people. You have distinguished your career with public service that would be the envy of many other politicians. Allow me, therefore, and my family, together with our countrymen, to express our condolence, our most heartfelt condolence to you and to your family. Before I forget, let me quote a Bicolano sentence which will show how grateful we are. Doming, Diyos na mabalot.
Taken wing, he loved me. When I lost everything, he bought me. Redemption's work was done through Jesus Christ, his Son. Who shall separate me from the love of God? Shall dreams of tomorrow pain or sorrow
The Honorable Cynthia A. Villar will now deliver her eulogy.
Family of Senator Dominador Aytona. Senator Dominador Aytona is a member of the Nacionalista Party. Former Senator Manny Villar, the President of the Nacionalista Party, in behalf of all the members of the Nacionalista Party. A legacy is built not upon tombstone or monuments. Greatness flows out of the remembrance of one's action and how those acts are etched in the minds and hearts of others whose welfare you had served. Today, we are gathered here to remember the greatness of a man who served his country and his people uncompromisingly. He belonged to an era of Philippine politics where the term politician was equated with statesmanship. Senator Dominador R. Aytona served in the 6th Congress of the Philippines together with the who's who of great Filipino legislators. Arturo Tolentino, who was Senate President at that time, Jose W. Jocno, Eva Estrada Calao, Raul S. Manglapus, Sergio Osmeña Jr., Gil J. Puyat, Francisco Soc Rodrigo, Jovito Salonga, Lorenzo Tañada, among others. It was, in other words, the dream team of the Philippine Congress. And Senator Aytona, who won under the Nacionalista Party with just over 3 million votes, held up his own in the company of such illustrious batch. I remember when I assumed the leadership of the Nacionalista Party, Senator Aytona said that he believed in me and that he will do everything in his power to help reinvigorate the party. He shared my vision of creating an entrepreneurial class that would propel the Filipinos to progress and development. There is also one thing that we shared together, humble beginnings. After their marriage, he and his wife, Magdalena Raro, quit their teaching post and went to Manila to seek greener pastures. How he started as a clerk of the General Auditing Office to become one of the great senators of the land is a testament not only to his brilliance, but also his commitment to hard work and perseverance. For why else would the Senate draft him as advisor to its Finance Committee, which earned him praises from Senators Puyat, Primicias, and Montano? Why else would President Magsaysay, who was then a member of the lower house, seek his advice in financial and economic matters, and later appoint him to head the Budget Commission in 1954? Indeed, why else would President Garcia appoint him, a former General Auditing Office clerk and humble teacher, as Secretary of Finance in 1960 after the unfortunate death of President Magsaysay? Senator Aytona was a brilliant public servant who served government and his people with honesty, integrity, and efficiency worthy of emulation by our public servants of today. J. William Fulbright, for whom the scholarship grant Aytona received in 1952 was named after, once said, "To be a statesman, you must first get elected." And elected he was. But I'd like to think that Senator Aytona was already a statesman even before he was elected. In the regular election held on November 1965, Dominador Aytona became a senator of the Republic. As a member of the upper chamber, he worked for the passage of landmark legislative measures such as the creation of the Bicol University, establishment of the Students' Loan Fund Authority, and the creation of the Price Control Council, among others. Senator Aytona lived a full life, not because he lived up to 99, no, but because it was a life dedicated to family, to the country, and to God. It was a life spent in the pursuit of knowledge and using that knowledge to serve the country. Maraming salamat, Senator Aytona. You leave behind a legacy that will forever etch in the minds of the Filipinos, grateful for your service to the nation. Paalam po, Senator Aytona.
Senate Secretary Lutgardo B. Barbo will now read the Senate resolution.
Republic of the Philippines, Congress of the Philippines, Senate, Pasay City, 17th Congress, Second Regular Session, Resolution number 67. Resolution expressing the profound sympathy and sincere condolences of the Senate of the Philippines on the death of former Senator Dominador R. Aytona. Whereas former Senator Dominador R. Aytona, a distinguished member of the Senate in the 6th and 7th Congress, educator, former cabinet member, and public servant, passed away on 26 September 2017 at the age of 99. Whereas coming from a humble beginning, he finished with high honors his primary and intermediate school education at the Albay Training Department and his teaching course at the Albay Normal School as a self-supporting student. Whereas after teaching at Binson's, formerly Indan, Camarines Norte, he and his wife migrated to Manila, where he worked as a clerk in the General Auditing Office during the day and pursued his college degree at night at the University of Manila, where he was a constant scholar, an outstanding student, and a gold medalist. Whereas he finished his Bachelor of Science in Business Administration degree in 1947 as summa cum laude, Bachelor of Laws degree in 1949 as magna cum laude, and Master of Laws in 1951 as cum laude. Whereas after passing the bar in 1950, placing second with an average score of 94.55%, he joined the Senate as financial advisor, and there he became acquainted with then Representative Ramon Magsaysay of Zambales, and for his exemplary service he was sent to the United States for special studies in public finance and budgeting under a Fulbright and Smith-Mod training grant. Whereas in 1954 he was appointed as Commissioner of the Budget by then President Ramon Magsaysay, and in 1960 he was appointed by then President Carlos P. Garcia as Secretary of Finance and concurrently Chairman of the Monetary Board of the Central Bank. Whereas he then ran for Senator and placed 6th during the November 9, 1965 senatorial elections. Whereas the neophyte Senator of the 6th Congress served as Chairman of the Committees on Civil Service, Ways and Means, and Finance, where he was instrumental in the enactment of the following landmark legislative measures: Republic Act number 6063, entitled An Act Fixing the Salaries of Officers and Employees of the Court of Tax Appeals; Republic Act number 5926, entitled An Act Standardizing the Salaries of all National Officials and Employees of the General Auditing Office; Republic Act number 6101 entitled An Act Increasing the Salaries of the Officers and Employees of the Bureau of Posts, Republic Act number 5531 entitled An Act Establishing the Bicol University, and Republic Act number 6014 entitled An Act Creating the Students' Loan Fund Authority, among others. Whereas during the 7th Congress, he actively participated in the enactment of the following measures: Republic Act number 6124 entitled An Act Providing for the Fixing of the Maximum Selling Prices of Essential Articles or Commodities, creating the Price Control Council, Republic Act number 6126 entitled An Act Regulating Rentals of Dwelling Units, and Republic Act number 6390 entitled An Act Accelerating the Implementation of the Agrarian Reform Program, among others. Whereas after his stint in the government, he devoted himself in the private sector, serving as a business executive of a leading textile and garment manufacturer, thus continuing his resolve to help his constituents by providing them with work and other assistance. Whereas his passing away is a great loss, not only to his bereaved family, but to the nation as well. Therefore, be it resolved by the Senate to express, as it hereby expresses, its profound sympathy and sincere condolences on the death of former Senator Dominador R. Aytona. Resolved further, that a copy of this resolution be furnished the bereaved family of former Senator Dominador R. Aytona. Adopted, signed, Aquilino Coco Pimentel III, President of the Senate. This resolution was adopted by the Senate on September 27, 2017, signed, Secretary of the Senate.
The Senate President, together with the incumbent senators, will now present the resolution to the family of the late Senator Dominador Aytona. The Honorable Aquilino Coco Pimentel III, Senate President, will now deliver his eulogy.
The Aytona family, my colleagues in the Senate who are here, Senators Villar, Senator Honasan, former Senate President Juan Ponce Enrile, former Senators Eddie Ilarde, Mayor Fred Lim, the Senate family, my fellow Filipinos, good morning, magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat. We always say that education is the key to success. The man we honor today is proof of this statement. But more than a simple success story, the life of former Senator Dominador R. Aytona is also about making use of this success to help others, especially those most in need. Rising from humble beginnings, he finished his studies with high honors and joined public service. He served as a financial advisor to the Senate, Commissioner of the Budget under President Magsaysay, and Secretary of Finance under President Garcia. But it was in his service as a senator from 1965 to 1971 where he made his lasting mark. Remembering his life's journey as a working student and public servant, he sought to improve the quality of life of students, of civil servants, and of all Filipinos. It was former Senator Aytona who authored the law that established the Bicol University, the law that created the Students' Loan Fund Authority, the law that standardized salaries of the employees of the General Auditing Office, and the law that increased salaries of the employees of the Bureau of Post. He likewise authored the law that created the Price Control Council that limited the maximum selling price of essential goods, the law that regulated rentals of dwelling units, and the law that accelerated the implementation of the Agrarian Reform Program. Clearly, Senator Aytona, despite reaching the heights of success in his chosen field, did not forget the welfare of the ordinary Filipino. Every law he crafted was aimed at improving the quality of life of the Filipino people, easing their burdens and giving them more opportunities to succeed as he had. With his death, we lost a model Filipino and a true public servant. During his life, I have not personally met the late Senator Aytona, but from reading about his life story, I could see the value of hard work which marked his life. Hard work in school, hard work as appointive government official, hard work as elective government official, and hard work even after his life as a public official. We in the Senate lost someone who enriched our history and tradition of excellence in serving the Filipino people. Let us honor his memory by never forgetting his cause of giving every Filipino a chance at a better life. Maraming salamat po.
On behalf of the family of the late Senator Dominador R. Aytona, Ms. Elica Aytona Ponce de Leon will deliver the response.
Senate President Coco Pimentel, to our good senators of the country, relatives and friends who came with us today, good morning. On behalf of my mother, Catalina Aytona Ponce de Leon, my father, Vladimir Ponce de Leon, who is not here today, and Aytona family, I would like to thank each and every one of you for inviting us to share my grandfather's achievements during his term in the Senate. I would like to thank and acknowledge the people who also share their experiences they had with my grandfather as to how he was as a public servant of the Philippine government. Thank you, because you have added meaning to his learning experience and has contributed to his expertise because of your support and believe that he is capable of making decisions that would address the nation's needs. Today, I may not cover all the achievements throughout his lifetime because all of you may have experienced, researched, and have been inspired by how enthusiastic, energetic, and driven he was in performing his tasks and address other important government problems. Instead, let me walk you down as to how he was in his personal life. I never met him during his term in the Senate. His accomplishments back then were part of Philippine history, and I love hearing stories from people vouching for how great he was back in the day. Lolo is known for being the provider who has helped people in many different ways, counseled aspiring individuals who are seeking advice, whether friendly or professionally, and has mentored professionals who are inspired and moved by his demonstration of integrity and for being passionate with his work. He is a man of few words and a silent worker until his 90s. The late Senator Dominador Aytona is a loving, generous, compassionate person who has walked the talk. May he continuously inspire the generations to come when they come across his history and has served our country. In this light, I'd like to mention one of his nephew's posts talking about the late senator. One can only hope that our current crop of lawmakers take notice of the man and others like him and be moved by their legacy and be truly inspired by his brand of leadership that Senator Dominador Aytona exemplified by Alex Acorantes. May his dedication in serving the country be an inspiration to everyone. As a grandchild, I will always remember him, given that my name was created to commemorate his victory. I am Victoria Elica May Aytona Ponce de Leon, his grandchild from his only daughter, Catalina Aytona Ponce de Leon, extending our gratitude to everyone praying for the soul of the late senator, and to those who have paid their last respects. Thank you once again for this opportunity. May God bless us all. Thank you.
This Necrological Service is hereby declared closed.